Hello everyone, and welcome to episode 24 of my Dark Souls video guide. So last time I left you off right before this boss fight. I did already upload the boss video itself, so I'm just going to quickly kill him right now. I actually died on my first attempt on this character, but that's fine. You can still see quite clearly one of the things I also mentioned in the video. The camera is really the main issue here. It is very easy to completely lose track of where the demon is and what it's doing at any given moment. And here you also see me chopping off one of his arms and getting the orange charge ring as a reward. Which is just a handy thing to do. Especially, yeah, if there's a good chance you die again, you can then put on the ring next time and you will have a much easier time. And here I'm whiffing quite a bit. But I get there in the end, so now the tail is cut off as well. So generally this video will be a kind of short and quick odds and ends cleanup video, where I finish or continue a bit of an NPC's quest, and then just grab some stuff that we had walked past earlier because we couldn't get there quite yet. So no major progression, just doing stuff that I've not been able to do before, but mostly in previous areas. So after the boss is killed, I'm going to put on the ring, because after the fight, to continue on, you actually need to go through lava. And yeah, the ring is just a handy thing to have there. And don't forget, in case you might still need them, there's 2 green titanite shards in the corner of the arena right here. Which, as I've also said in the boss guide, is where I would recommend you fight the boss if you're not really certain of how to do it. That's probably the easiest spot. And yeah, there's also 2 titanite shards there. Now going through this cave, there's a bonfire right at the end of it, so I'm just going to quickly kindle it. And also note there's an NPC sitting there. And by this point I've amassed quite a few souls on some characters, so I'm just going to yeah, level up a bit, basically. Nothing major, just, you know, might as well spend the levels when I have them.
Why? Why? After all this searching, I still cannot find it.
And that's all he says for now. If you remember, he was looking for his own son. Now I am warping through the Duke's Archives, which is the balcony bonfire in the Duke's Archives. There is something new here, and quite a while ago I talked to Sigmeier at the bonfire in Firelink Shrine, and he told me he was heading down below shortly. Now the next time you go down to the Demon Ruins or the Izalith area of the game, he will have gone down there. You don't actually have to meet him there, you just have to go there, because this triggers him leaving Firelink, which in turn triggers a new event that takes place right here in this forest section. Because once you have done so, there's a new golden golem spawning right here. It's quite a lot tougher than the blue ones. It kind of reminds you maybe a little bit of the one that we found after we defeated the Hydra. And it actually is very similar, in the sense that there's a lady inside it.
It was you who rescued me. Why, thank you. I am Ziegland of Katarina. I don't know how I ended up in that crystal. It wasn't terrible in there, but I could hardly move. I must think of some way to repay you. Oh, have you seen my father? You wouldn't miss him. A suit of armor just like mine. Thank goodness. I knew he was here somewhere. Well then, now I must find him. Thanks again, truly. Now if you'll just stay put and keep out of trouble.
Now, if you say no to her at this point, it doesn't actually matter. It doesn't change anything, so you might as well say yes. Okay, and then I'm warping to the Daughter of Chaos bonfire, putting on the rusted iron ring to be able to move through the swamp quicker, because now there's something that we can do in the swamp. And this is kind of why I put this off until now, just to have it all in one video. As I said, this will be a lot of warping around and going to places we've already been, but yeah, I want to show you the end of that quest line. And so, well, we need to go through the swamp. I chose not to use the bonfire here because I want to be able to homeward bone back easily. But if you're struggling with the area, obviously you can use the bonfire. It just makes the way back a little longer, but that's not really an issue. Okay, then there's a bunch of leeches to kill here. And right there, it's Sigmire.
Oh ho! Excuse me, I was so absorbed in thought I just drifted away. You see, I'm actually in a bit of a fix. I've made it this far, but I'm short on antidote moss for the trip back. By my knighthood, I'm ashamed to ask, but can you spare a few scraps of moss? Fantastic! Thank you. A saint you are. This Knight of Katarina expresses his deepest gratitude. I shall not forget this. Please, take this, a symbol of my appreciation. Well, our fates do seem entwined, don't they? Perhaps this, too, is the will of Lord Gwyn. The poison swamp. It's like quicksand in there.
The quest doesn't continue if you don't give him the moss, so I think he takes 3 of them. Might as well give them to him. As I said, nothing else happens if you don't. Okay, at this point we are going to warp to Firelink. And that's because Sieglinde is now here, and we can tell her we found her father again.
Oh, hello again. We're both managing quite well, aren't we? But I haven't found my father yet. Have you seen him? Really? Then I must be off. I'm sorry he's caused you trouble. He has a knack for that. If you just stay put.
Now, I'm not entirely certain, but I believe if you say that you haven't seen her father at this point, you actually break the quest line. But don't quote me on that. There's no reason not to. There's no benefit to saying that you haven't found him. Okay, now there's another section that we visited earlier, and I told you we couldn't quite continue all the way down there. We technically could have. There's a lot of lava in the way, and so the orange chart ring makes it much more feasible to get through there. But note, it's not mandatory. The lava doesn't insta-kill you. It's not some sort of death effect. It just does a ton of fire damage. But if you have enough HP and enough fire resistance, you can survive it for long enough to grab some stuff in this section. But there's not really any reason to. I would recommend leaving it until you've got the orange shard ring. There is really nothing there that you would need earlier. Unless you're doing something very specific, but at that point you don't need my kind of advice anymore, really. Now this area here has a ton of Taurus demons in it. And they are very close together, but it is entirely possible to pull them slowly in such a way that you do never have to fight more than one at a time. and you can use their quite slow attacks to dodge them, and then just get some swings in. They are really not fast enemies. They have a lot of HP, and they do quite a bit of damage, but they're not anything to really worry about. So I'm speeding this up a bit. Really, this is just me killing all the Taurus demons in this area. If you do accidentally pull more than one, I would recommend just quitting out and reloading your character, because that will reset the enemies, and then you can try again to only pull one at a time. Because more than one is definitely a hassle, especially if you don't have a good ranged option. I mean, for a sorcerer, it might not be that difficult to kill more than one at a time, but for a melee character, especially one with a weak weapon, more than one at a time can be a real hassle. So just be careful and pull them slowly. And you should not have any trouble. Okay, and now there's only one left. They can once again drop the Demon Great Axe here, but if you didn't get one from the boss encounter and you didn't get one from the guys here, then you can still join the Forest Covenant and make Shiva of the East spawn in Blighttown, and you can buy the Demon's Great Axe from him. Alright, so there's two items here, which I'm just going to briefly show you. And this one's always a bit tedious to get to. You have to kind of jump up here, and you can find the large soul of a proud knight. So it's just a soul item, it's really nothing that you really need at this point. And the second item is in this opener area right here, which is actually a special item. It's the Chaos Flame Ember. But again, you shouldn't need this for Izalith, so might as well get it after Izalith. Okay, and that's really all there is to it. Yeah, see you next time. Bye bye.